Hello, all of you beautiful ladies watching today. My name is Rachel Ritchason, and my husband Michael is the lead pastor of Riverside Community Church, and I serve alongside of him. And I'm also the Bloom Women's Director here at Riverside. You see, 2020 was the year that was supposed to be our year, the year of vision, the year of clarity. And for me, I believe it was. But it was also a year that we faced a pandemic, racial unrest, isolation, depression, anxiety, job loss, loved ones lost, and so much more. And everything just seemed so dark. You know, my usual natural state is to go to worst case scenario. So when this hit, I usually would go to the anxiety part of things when it came to COVID. I'm the WebMD girl, call me when it's over type of a girl, but I tried to look on the bright side. I tried to speak hope. I tried to push through the depression and the anxiety. But for me, there were days that just felt so dark. It felt silent and it felt hard to hope. But I remember at the beginning of all of this, turning to my husband and saying, I don't want to come through this the same as when I entered. I don't want to come out of this the same. You know, there were times in my most recent quarantine, and we've had multiple in our home, even surrounded by my family and what seemed to be so much chaos at times, I felt alone, it felt quiet, and it felt dark. But I've learned in those moments that God is probably trying to say something, that I just probably need to quiet myself and listen, because I've learned that sometimes He speaks the loudest in a whisper. God likes to sometimes speak to us in a whisper because it can only be heard when it's silent. You know, I'm reminded of the story of Elijah in 1 Kings. This man had done amazing things for God. He had called fire down from heaven. He had shut up the skies and stopped the rain for 3 years. And then a threat from the wife of a disobedient king sent this prophet running to isolation. In 1 Kings 9:11 through 13, it says, "Go out and stand before me on the mountain," the Lord told him. And as Elijah stood there, the Lord passed by, and a mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were torn loose, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, there was a sound of a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And a voice said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Just like he asked Adam, "Where are you?" Or Cain, after killing Abel, he asked, "Where is your brother?" Or Hagar, when she ran to isolation, "Where are you going?" Why does he ask us the things that he already knows? You see, he comes to us in those moments of darkness so we can recognize where we are at. God came to Hagar at her breaking point. And my favorite part of that story is in Genesis 6:13. So she named the Lord who spoke to her, "You are El Roi," for she said, "In this place have I actually seen the one who sees me." It says, "In this place." And I believe the Lord is whispering to you today, in this place. In this place of isolation, in this place of depression, in this place of anxiety, in the place of all the church struggles and leadership, in the place of illness, in the place of desperation, in a place of loneliness, and in the place of darkness, in the place of silence, He is whispering, "I am the God who sees you, who knows you. Where are you?" You see, He's calling us to recognize where we are at so He can whisper into our darkness. For it is in the silence His whisper is the loudest. You see, Bloom Conference 2020 was in February, right before we heard anything about COVID, and right before the shutdown. You know, I spoke a prayer during the opener of the conference, not knowing what we were just about to walk into just weeks later. And I want to leave you with that prayer and hope for today. God, I'm learning in this season to be still. Be still in the promises of you. Be still in your love toward me. Be still in your abundant grace toward me. Be still in the fact that you are God and I am not. I desire the still. I desire the silence. I desire the resting in you so that when I come through it, it will be you that gets all of the glory. My prayer is that you would awaken what is already within me. God, I pray that you would awaken perseverance, endurance, strength, humility, love, kindness, patience, self-control, faithfulness, gentleness, faith, grace, mercy, and so much more than I can ask or imagine. I pray that your church would grow from the breaking of us. I pray that people would find hope in Jesus. I pray you raise them up as leaders, that they would rise to the top with integrity and favor. May we always see the gold in people and not the dirt. You love us too much to leave us where we are. May we be clay in your hands, molded and shaped into all you would have us to be. May the roots go down deep, the old be cut off. Awaken us to know and believe that we were made to flourish, we were made to grow, and we were made to bloom. Amen. Thank you so much for having me today, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.